Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Sam and today is November 12th and I have read one book off my TBR. I know that I did this video pretty recently. I think I only did it last month, but I really wanted to try and do it again. I really want to try and get on top of my reads and catch up a little bit of where I just want to be in the month. I got a little bit distracted by some other books, some library holds, and I just want to get back on track with my TBR. I would really love to finish the year with some completed TBRs. So this is the book stack we are working with, plus a couple Kindle reads and a library hold. I definitely will not be able to get through all of it this week. I'm planning on doing like a week, maybe 10 days. I would really like to get through 3 or 4 books in this reading vlog, so fingers crossed. For this week, my TBR stack options are Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver, which is actually from October's TBR, Leather and Lark, also by Brynne Weaver, Angels and Demons by Dan Brown, King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo, which I'm waiting for my hold at the library, and then Credence by Penelope Douglas, and Metal Slinger by Rachel Schneider, both on Kindle. So I have my work cut out for me. I have quite the TBR stack that I would like to get through. I have some longer books to be reading. But the first book I am starting with is Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. I started this yesterday and got 137 pages in. I'm about 45% of the way through, I believe, is what Goodreads said. I'm really hoping to get through the majority of this book today, or majority of the rest of this book today. If you do not know what this book is about already, we are following Sloane and Rowan, who are both serial killers who hunt other serial killers. And it's kind of comedic. This is a friends to lovers dark romance comedy. And this so far is not going the way that I thought it was going to go. It's definitely gruesome and gory, and the serial killer scenes are pretty gross. But the way that our two characters meet, they meet like right in the first chapter, and it's like they're immediately friends, and it just doesn't really make sense. Where is their backstory or connection, or like how did they get into this business? Like, we don't see any of their friendship really growing at the beginning. It's very like insta-lovey, which I don't really love. I feel like we don't get that connection. Like, when did they become friends? Like, I feel like there's just not enough backstory to our two characters' relationship for me to believe in their friendship and connection. Other than that, I am enjoying it overall, but it's kind of sitting at like a 3.5 star right now. It's good, but nothing as great as I expected based on the like reviews and hype that was coming out about this book when it came out. What was it, like a year ago? Also, this book talks a lot about the main characters that are going to be in this one, so I'm honestly just more curious about these characters than these characters, which seems a little backwards. Like, I want to be excited about the characters in the next book closer to the end, when I'm like anticipating the next book, not like right from page 1. So yeah, like I'm enjoying it, but it's nothing super great right now. The weather outside is pretty chilly, so I put on this big fuzzy jackety sweater today, but now I feel like I'm going to combust into flames. But I want a tea, so let's go make a tea, have some reading, and then I guess I'll catch up with you once I finish Butcher and Blackbird. I probably won't have any more check-ins, but let's go make some tea. Hi everybody, happy Wednesday. I hope I'm not completely washed out. It's about 4 o'clock and I meant to film this a bit earlier, but I didn't get a chance to finish this book until my lunch and I got distracted and was working. So I have since finished Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. I was really looking forward to this book and I really thought that I was going to love this book based on what I heard about it, what people were saying about it, and how excited people were about it. But this was definitely a letdown for me personally. This claims to be a friends to lover romance, and I just really did not get their friendship at all from this. We have a lot of time jumps in the beginning. Essentially, our two main characters meet at this one crime scene, I guess, and they make this deal that they're going to play a serial killer game every year subsequently, and we don't see much of the game. We have these time jumps of every year that they play this game, and I just didn't really feel like they had any real backstory. And with the different kills that came about throughout this book, with them being serial killers for other serial killers. Does that make sense? Like their targets were other serial killers. There was no planning, there was no reasoning really about why they were bad or like how they found out that they were bad and how they found them. I just wanted a little bit more from the backstory. Also, we didn't really get much into our characters' backstory themselves. There were certain parts that were hinted at, but we weren't really told anything explicitly. A lot of this book that I honestly just felt like I missed a whole chapter or did not pick something up that I was supposed to. It's like maybe it was me, but also I don't think that anything was explained. The smut in this was not my favorite, not my preference. The relationship also just moved very quickly. There was no, I didn't feel the emotional connection. It was all very physical and very lusty. I don't know, I was at the end of the book and I'm like, did you guys actually have a connection? Truly? And the third act conflict was really annoying. At least the way that it started really bothered me. I did not enjoy that. So unfortunately, this was, I think, a 2.5 star for me. And like I said, I cared more about the characters that are in book 2 than I did about the characters in this book. And I also have not heard the best things about book 2 compared to book 1. So I'm scared. Now, I was really considering just reading the second book right after this because I thought I was going to love this one and I thought that I was going to want to jump into book 2 immediately, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to pivot my plans a little bit. Unfortunately, this just did not live up to the hype for me. Glad I read it. On to the next. I am not 100% certain what I'm going to read, but I'm really leaning towards Metal Slinger. Emmy Rosam has talked about this book consistently on her channel and on her Instagram, and I feel like everybody has been reading it recently because of her, and I also really want to read it because I want to know what the hype is about, and I want to put it in a reading vlog because I feel like it might be fun. So I'm gonna try and start that later today probably, unless I totally change my mind and pick up something else. But that's what I'm thinking. That's the plan. I need to go finish working for the day and then hopefully I can read a bit. So that's all for now. Hi everybody, happy Friday. Doing a very quick card check-in today. I just wanted to make sure that I actually checked in on this vlog before I just run through the rest of this book, but I did start Metal Slinger by Rachel Snyder the other day, and I'm only about 80 pages into it, so definitely not very far at all. But I am having a great time. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm very intrigued as to what is happening. It's kind of different to anything that I've ever read before. So far in this book, we are following Bryn, who is part of the Aloha people, which are a group of people that were exiled to the sea. They're sort of like a group of sea people. They live on the water, and so they were exiled by this other group called the Kenta people, I believe. And so there's some tension and conflict between the two people. And the Aloha people are allowed to come to the Kenta markets once a year to get all of their food and supplies that they need for the rest of the year. And an altercation happens on the most recent visit, and we're kind of going from there. It's very interesting. I have some suspicions on at least one thing that's going to happen, but I've just heard that there's so many twists and turns and no one has guessed like the ending. I'm just really excited to continue. It's very easy to read, very easy to understand, a very interesting world, but it's not so complex that you can't figure out what's going on. But I'm really enjoying it, having a great time, and can't wait to continue reading it. I'm hoping to finish it this weekend. We'll see if I can do that. I'll need to read like 130 or so pages every day. So fingers crossed. If not, I can finish on Monday, and that is totally fine. I'm not going to try to force myself to get through this book or anything. And hopefully I should be able to still read one more book. We'll see. Well, that's my update for now. I hope everyone is having a great week, and I'll probably check in once I finish. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I wanted to do a quick check-in this morning. I have about 90 pages left of Metal Slinger. I'm having a great time. I'm not sure if this is quite a 5-star for me, but it's up there. I guess we'll see how the ending goes. This has been a fantastic first book in a series so far. The world building is great. It's not really info dumpy. We're like learning about information as our main character learns information. The twists are twisting. The banter is so good. I love our main characters together. The relationship is developing a little bit quick, or a little bit, I don't know, like it's been a long journey that our characters are on, but at the same time, there's definitely parts that I feel like it's very quick. So that's kind of my one critique. I feel like, at least recently, I have been really loving this really slow burn where like we're really getting to know our characters and really getting a slow relationship built between them. But I'm having the best time. Like, I am giggling out loud, I'm gasping, I'm having so much fun. And I was working on editing the first clips of this video today, and I feel like I just say the same things over and over, and every time that I sit down to film these updates, I never have a concise way to explain my thoughts or the books in any way. And I was hoping that that was just going to get better with time, which I still think it can, but also I'm just having a great time. I was right and did guess a couple things that happened, but I was still just having the time of my life. And that's all I want to say, because I also don't want to spoil anything for you. The synopsis that I gave in the last clip was pretty accurate to, well, it is accurate for the first chapter or two of the book. And yeah, like I don't want to spoil anything, because going into books blind, or as blind as you can, makes it so much more fun. Anyway, that is all I have to say for now. I'm probably gonna be finishing this book on my lunch, so wanted to have some live reactions, but I just don't think that's gonna be the case with my schedule, but that's fine. We will reconverge later once I finish and we can chat about the ending. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope the lighting isn't completely terrible. It is cloudy and dreary and gross outside. But I wanted to do a check-in. I did end up finishing Metal Slinger yesterday, and 5 stars. Five stars. This was so good. I had such a great time reading this, and the ending was, I would have never guessed. Never guessed. If you have read Metal Slinger, please DM me so we can chat. And also let me know if you saw any of the signs to the ending. I remember when Emmy talked about it, she said once you finished it, like if you go back, like there are signs. Where are the signs? Nothing. I didn't see anything coming. I have so many questions. I need all of the answers. This was such a fantastic first book in a series. I think this is a debut novel from Rachel Snyder. Correct me if I'm wrong, but just really well done. The characters, the relationship, the magic system was super interesting. I really enjoyed that. Definitely takes, not necessarily inspiration, but is similar to other fantasy book series that I have read in some aspects. I don't really know what else to say without spoiling anything. I think this is a lot of fun to go in blind. I just really enjoyed this book, and I'm so glad that I read it. If you haven't read it, go read it. Easy to read, easy to understand. I had, for the millionth time, I had a great time. I really enjoyed this. Definitely put this one high on your TBR, and then let me know what you think, because it was great. I had a great time. I'm gonna go. Hello everybody, I'm here again filming another check-in on the day that this video needs to be posted, but I wanted to do an update because I ended up reading one more book and I didn't end up introducing it or doing a check-in or anything because I ended up getting new glasses on Friday. My new frames came in, so I've been getting used to my new prescription, but I still wanted to have 3 books in this video, so I wanted to talk about it anyway. And the last book that I read is Credence by Penelope Douglas. This is a pretty dark taboo romance. We're following Tiernan, who just recently lost her parents both at the same time, and she has a few weeks until her 18th birthday, so she is shipped off to her step uncle's cabin in rural middle of the woods Colorado, and she's kind of learning about herself and growing as a person because she's had a pretty crappy childhood and ends up getting with her uncle and cousins. Now, for the first 50% of this book, I was really eating it up. I really enjoyed the plot and the characters. I thought it was very intriguing and like had a decent plot foundation, and the tension was being set up really well, and I was just honestly having a great time with it. And then it sort of started shifting, and I really don't know how to talk about this book because although I was reading it and eating it up still and just reading it really quickly, I didn't really like any of our characters. I really wish that Tiernan was older. I understand for the plot why she had to be just shy of 18, but a lot of the scenes were really gross prior to her birthday. And honestly, the trope where we have like a 17, 18-year-old girl who feels like she knows everything and is ready to just be strapped to a man, it's really annoying. Like, I remember being 17, 18, not even in university, like, I didn't know anything. I still feel like I don't know anything. But all that aside, I found that all of the males in this were very aggressive and controlling. I just found it hard to root for any of them, and all of their relationships just didn't make a lot of sense. The dynamic was really strange to me, and I just didn't feel like an actual genuine connection with any of them. There was also a bunch of time jumps over what I would consider the main period of time where I had assumed that we were going to get the most of the story. So that was really frustrating to me, and I feel like we didn't get to see a lot of like character development and growth during that time period that like we could have. So unfortunately, again, not my favorite. And I'm probably sitting at like another 3-star for this book. I definitely enjoyed it more than Birthday Girl, but yeah, still wasn't necessarily what I wanted it to be, or didn't live up to the hype that I had tied to either of those books. So that is everything for today's video. I ended up reading 3 books in this vlog, which was okay, but I'm still not anywhere close to finishing my November TBR, but I'm hoping to squeeze in 2 more books before the end of the month. But you'll see in a couple weeks what I ended up reading this month, all my reviews and everything. But I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like so that I know. I hope that you all have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.